Welcome viewers. Today we will perform a very interesting experiment related to the chemical equilibrium. In chemistry, you study many reactions and you know how to write a chemical reaction. Suppose there are two reactants A and B and they react together to give the products C and D. Then how to write this reaction? We write it like this, we write C plus D, then an arrow in between, and then on the right hand side we write A plus B, where A and B are the reactants and C and D are the products. Here you just note down that we have put a single headed arrow pointing towards the direction in which the products are formed. That means reactants react and give the products. But there are some reactions in which the products formed again react and give back you the starting reactants. Then in that case, now the formed products act as reactants and give back the original reactants with which we started with. Such reactions are called reversible reactions and they proceed in both the directions. Then how to write these reactions? We write them like this. We write A plus B. To write the reversible reaction in which A plus B is giving C plus D, we write an arrow pointing in the opposite directions to show that the reaction can either proceed from A plus B to give C and D or from C and D to give back A and B. So, this was the difference when we write the chemical equation for an irreversible reaction and for a reversible reaction, the difference being the kind of arrow being used to differentiate the two kinds of reactions. K1 upon K2 is equal to, in the numerator, concentration of C into concentration of D, and in the denominator concentration of A into concentration of B. Here you can see that the concentrations of the products are written in the numerator and the concentrations of the reactants are written in the denominator. And this K1 upon K2 is being now represented by another constant which is called equilibrium constant, and this is denoted as K equilibrium or Kc in this particular case, because we are using concentrations and this is concentration equilibrium constant. Now, having understood how to represent the rates for the reversible reactions and what is K equilibrium, we will today perform an experiment to see how the equilibrium shifts when we add or vary the concentration of one of the reactants. So, if we change the concentration of one reactant to an equilibrium mixture, how is that change working out and how is the system reacting, that we are going to test today. You must also have studied about the Le-Chatelier principle, where you know that it says if the reaction which is at equilibrium is disturbed by either changing some factor like concentration, pressure, temperature, etc., how is the system going to react? According to this principle, system will try to re-attain its equilibrium or maintain the equilibrium, and the reaction will shift in that direction to maintain the equilibrium, because the equilibrium constant is constant at a given temperature, the temperature at which you are working or doing the experiment. So, we will try and test all these knowledge or facts which we have just shared with you by performing an experiment today. Today, we will study the shift in equilibrium for a reaction involving cobalt chloride, and to be very exact, we will be taking cobalt aqua complex COH2O6 2 plus, and we will be adding to that chloride ions, and the reaction will be giving us COCl4 2 minus ions. And very interesting observations you will be coming across while we do this experiment is, when we start with one end of the reaction, the color is different and we have a different set of colors when we go to the products. Let us go to the reaction first and understand what we are going to do today. Here, as the reaction is reversible, we can either proceed from the reactant side, that is CO H2O6 plus Cl4 ions this side, or from the reverse side, from the CO Cl4 to negative ions side. So, let me try the other way round first, that is I will try the CO Cl4 2 minus ions first. I will start with that, taking them as the reactant, in this case as first part of the experiment, and see that what will happen if I add some water to it. To start with the experiment, I need some reagents as well as some apparatus. So, I have kept all arranged for you here. This is cobalt chloride here, and this is acetone, then concentrated HCl. Here I have taken acetone 60 ml, and I have already weighed 0.6000 gram of cobalt chloride salt taken from this bottle, and I have dissolved this salt in this flask in acetone. This much amount I have already taken and dissolved in 60 ml of acetone, and then I have added 2 ml of concentrated hydrochloric acid to it, and the resulting mixture which is available with me like this, I have already filled in this burette. And what is this exactly? This is CO Cl4 2 minus ions, this is a solution of that. So, I am proceeding from this end, right end of the reaction, and gradually adding water to it. What I have to do now? I have taken here 5 test tubes also, A, B, C, D, E, which are labeled already. There are 3 burettes with me, in which one burette has this complex already made, this anion, solution of the anion is here. Then we have here acetone filled in this burette, and then here we have distilled water. So, what I will do? I will take equal amounts, that is 2.5 ml of this solution in all the test tubes. I have taken this solution in 4 test tubes already, and I will fill one test tube with this, adding 2.5 ml like this. You should be careful in noting down the meniscus. Here, since the solution is colored, we have to note down the burette reading by following the upper meniscus. We have taken 2.5 ml of this solution in each of these test tubes A, B, C, D and E, and also please keep in mind that when we finally add acetone and water from these 2 burettes, again the total contents in all these 5 test tubes should be same. Now, I plan to make the total contents in these test tubes to be 4 ml, and I want to take test tube A as my reference. I will just keep it a little aside, and in test tubes B, C, D and E, I will add different amounts of water, and then balance that amount with the addition of acetone from this burette to make the total volume of the contents equal to 4 ml. In test tube B, I will add 0.2 ml of water, in test tube C 0.4 ml of water, in D 0.6 ml of water, and in E 0.8 ml of water, and make up the rest of the volume. To make it in total equal to 4 ml, I will add acetone from this after that. So, let me start by adding water to these test tubes. 0.2 ml I have to add simply, this is enough, 0.2 ml. I will just keep it here. Then 0.4 ml, just shake it and keep it back. 0.6 ml to be added by noting down the lower meniscus now. Keep it again here to its place. Now, in test tube E, I have to add 0.8 ml. Note down the color changes, how beautifully they are changing, like this. But one step is still left. I have to make their volumes equal by making each one of them to contain 4 ml. So, here it was only 3, I will be adding 1 ml of acetone here. Very simple. Note down the lower meniscus. Add 1 ml. Done. Just shake it. Keep it back. I will next take test tube B. Add here 0.8 ml. Carefully noting the meniscus. Just shake it again. I will keep this also back. To C, I am adding just enough acetone to make it 4. Then 0.4 ml to be added. Very nice color changes you can see. And here 0.2 ml only. So I have performed all these additions. It's the time for comparison of colors. I'll start with test tube A. You can see a deep blue color is there. Compare it with the color of the solution in test tube B. Little change is there towards the lighter tone, A to B, because we have added now water in it, which was one of the reactants. Compare it with test tube C. Color tone is little more lighter. Between A and C, A is darker, C is lighter. Comparing A with D, very distinct color changes, very dark blue, light blue. In D, as the amount of water has increased in D, while we go from test tubes B, C to D, still more quantity of water is present in test tube E, and the two contrasting colors are very well visible here. You can see this was COCl4 2 minus blue solution, and what is this? This is COH2O6 2 minus pink solution. So this is aqua complex of cobalt, you can say, and this is COCl4 minus iron. So why has it all happened? What have we done? Can you think of any reason for this? Since you know that we have changed or added different concentrations of one reactant, that means we have varied the concentration. That was our motive to study, and we wanted to study what has happened to the equilibrium, which side reaction has shifted. We started from this end, and while we added this water as the reactant has pushed the reaction to the other side to give us this COH2O6 2 plus ion in aqueous medium, which is pink in color. And this is according to the Le-Chatelier principle, which says then if we disturb an equilibrium reaction by changing the concentration of one of the reactants, equilibrium shifts in such a direction that the reaction takes a course in such a way to maintain that equilibrium. And this is what has exactly happened. When we have added water, it has reacted with more of the COCl2 solution, and it has given us more of COH2O6 2 plus ion, which is pink in color. So this was one part where we showed you that addition of water can change the direction of the reaction and shift the equilibrium. But can we do the reverse also? We can also take now the other side of the reaction, where we will be now using different reactants and different set of test tubes. Again we will perform a similar experiment, which is the second part, and show you what happens. Again we will test the Le-Chatelier principle and the shift in equilibrium by changing the other reactant in this reaction. Now let us see the second part of this experiment. In this experiment, since the reaction is reversible, we can proceed from either side, and this time we are taking COH2O6 2 plus as one of the reactants, and we are adding chloride ions from the concentrated HCl, and we will see that the reaction proceeds to give us COCl4 2 minus as one of the products, and the other product formed is 6 molecules of water. If we have to write the equilibrium constant for this reaction, we can write it like this. And now see, we are omitting purposely the concentration of water, 6 molecules of water, which we have already said. We are not taking them into account while we write the equilibrium constant. Why? Because here water is also present in large amount. So, to start with, what should we do? We should first have the all apparatus arranged here, and we will be requiring now CO H2O6 2 plus ions, which we have to prepare the solution for that. How do we proceed? We already have with us a solution of CoCl4 2 minus ions. I will be taking this solution about 30 ml and then adding concentrated acid from this burette about 15 ml to make this solution of this color. Now I have got this solution of CoH2O6 2 plus ions, which is pink in color, which is my starting material as one of the reactants. I have already done this for you and taken this solution into this burette here, and now we will actually start the additions of the reactants by varying the amounts of the one of the reactants, which is the chloride ion. So, again we will be taking, like we did in the first part, we will be taking equal amounts of the starting solution, which is here in this case this is pink colored solution. In all the 5 test tubes, we will be taking here in each of the test tube 1.5 ml of this solution. I will just add by noting down the upper meniscus here in the burette. Add 1.5 ml to this test tube F. Very carefully and slowly I will do that to have the exact volumes with me in the test tube. Here it is, there I have transferred 1.5 ml here. In test tube F, I will just keep it here. Similarly, I have taken 1.5 ml of this solution in test tubes G, H, I and J. Again, the reaction is to be now studied from the point of view of addition of chloride ions, and we already have 1.5 ml in all the test tubes. We want to make the total volume of the contents equal to 4 ml this time by varying the amounts of chloride ions. Now we will add to these test tubes different amounts of chloride ions from this burette, in which we have already taken concentrated HCl, and then to make the contents of each of these test tubes equal to 4 ml, we will balance that amount with the water taken in this burette. So, let me start by adding from this test tube this side. I will add here concentrated HCl 2.5 ml. See, a blue color has appeared. I will keep it here. Here I will add 2 ml of concentrated HCl. Still more intense color has been obtained. Since we have taken equal amounts of the equilibrium mixture, that is 1.5 ml in these test tubes, and then have added HCl in different amounts from this burette. We have taken concentrated HCl and added 0.5 ml to this test tube, 1 ml to this test tube, 1.5 ml to this test tube, 2.0 ml to this test tube and 2.5 ml to this test tube. Then we have to compensate for the rest of the amount with water from another burette, and we have made the contents of each of these test tubes equal to 4 ml, and have observed that the color has changed when we have added more and more of the chloride ions while we move from this side to this side of the test tubes. You can very well see that the initial pink color of the reactants have gradually changed to light blue, very light blue tone, then little darker blue tone, then still more darker because of the formation of more of CoCl4 2 negative, and finally very clear cut dark blue color is visible in this test tube. We will record all these observations which we have done here with respect to the colors and the amounts of HCl added and the amounts of water added in an observation table in part B of the experiment. Similarly, we have already recorded our observations in the observation table for part A of the experiment. Now, it is the time for you to go through once more these readings and see that while we have changed the concentration of the reactants, the equilibrium has shifted to a direction to give us more and more of the products, which was in accordance with the Le-Chatelier principle. So, we hope that you have enjoyed these sessions, and when you do the experiments yourself in the laboratory, you should keep in mind that you should use the test tubes of equal size, that all test tubes you should take should be of equal size, and while comparing the colors, you should take the test tubes and compare by keeping them close to each other, right. This is the best way to compare, to notice down the changes in the colors. We hope that you have enjoyed watching this program, and we wish you all good luck when you do the experiment in the laboratory. Thank you very much.